Well, it's the first day of Week 9. I'm joined right now by Equifax Coach Inero with coverage, of course, presented by Omni Slash. Talk a little bit about the team's recovery. You guys slipped a little bit towards, a lot of the teams slipped in the middle of the split. You guys started to look like that towards the end. You just won today, so maybe you can talk a little bit about what's been going on behind the scenes and what led to a bit of a roster mix-up that we saw today.
Yeah, so us in Cloud9, practice recently been pretty bad, honestly, even on stage. And I think both of us just really sucked at adapting to the patch. And it really showed on our performance on stage. Like, generally, we would stomp teams through laning phase and then snowball off of that. And we were struggling to even get through laning phase very well. Alongside that, all the top teams have been catching up with us. And they play out mid-game better, which has been a weakness of ours the whole time. So yeah, stress was definitely starting to get to just all of us as a team. So we thought it would be best this week to reward our challenger guys who have actually been doing way over expectation in Academy, and just give our guys that are just kind of stressed out a little bit right now a chance to relax and be reset for playoffs so they play their best there.
Nice. So this was not actually born out of, like, a lot of people, when you see, like, a roster change, it's like,
The implosion?
yeah, no, I was going to say the implosion, but I was going to say a lot of times whenever you see a roster change, people think like, oh, they've decided those other guys suck, so they're bringing in these people to try to save the day. This is a different situation. You're actually just giving these guys a break.
Yeah, like, dude, Phoenix is one of the best mid laners in NA right now. Like, he's been kicking ass the past, like, 8 weeks. So, like, giving that guy a break so he can come back and do even better is just great. And for Adrian as well, like, I think time where he's been able to play with Lawrence, our AD carry in Academy, and Johnny Altek's been able to play with Papa Chow a bit, helps them just learn how to 2v2 even better with each other, because they learned how the other ADs play and the strengths that they can bring back to each other off of that. And I think that type of thing is really going to benefit us in playoffs every time.
Was it not a risk to do that? Because first and second place are not secured. Like, a bunch of stuff can happen here. Do you not feel like you might have been risking it a little bit by going with a roster for the first time, like, very different roster that you've played with for the past 8 weeks?
Yeah, it's definitely a risk. The most important thing for us, though, is playoffs. We've been locked in for playoffs for a while, and whether we get a bye or not, we still have to play basically the same teams that actually win NA. So if we have to play the best team in the first round of it, whatever, we just have to do that. So preparing ourselves for the first week of playoffs, no matter what, with this move was really just the most important thing for us.
How important is it for you to get the bye? Because it is true that you have to, you still have to prove yourself at the end of the day to move forward, but you kind of get that extra week to practice, get used to stuff, scout out the other teams.
It's obviously really important. Like, it's great for information-wise and just that practice to help us out. But I definitely think that if we didn't make a move like this, we'd struggle a bit more in playoffs coming in, because we would just be too exhausted and too stressed as a team.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the backgrounds of the guys that we saw on stage today? Because, like, for instance, Avli interviewed Papa Chow. He seems like the nicest dude ever. I really like that guy just from that interview. I've never had a chance to speak with him. So what sort of is the background?
Yeah, so John worked with me on Dream Team way back in the day. That was before the whole, like, account elo boosting thing happened. He got banned for a little bit. He's just a cute guy, man. Like, he's so innocent. You can obviously tell from the interview. Like, he doesn't have, like, a mean bone in his body. He's great to work with. And Tanner over there, he's been with us since I joined. He joined Equifax last year. He was a part of the whole 10-man roster experiment that we did as an organization last split. And I mean, he's just been playing in Challenger for a while. He's always been pretty good, but NA teams, you haven't really seen mid laners come up ever. So I actually feel like there's this big pool of talented mid laners in NA that have just never gotten a chance over these other imports. And I mean, you saw today, like, he went out against Fly, who's a team that, like, FlyQuest thought that bringing in a Korean guy would have been better than anyone in North America. And I don't know, I think it's good for him to be able to go out there and actually just beat up on someone that was brought from another country.
Yeah. And what do you think? Because actually, I've been kind of talking to different folks in the scene, and I feel like there's a difference in opinion on the value of Academy. Because some people are just like, Academy, it's like there's not very much value there. You're kind of forced, like, the teams are forced to grab these players, and then they don't always put effort into it. And there's not much on the line. Conversely, like, you guys were able to bring out some guys from Academy here in the last week. So what is your take on the state of Academy right now?
I think Academy is extremely useful. It just matters how, like, if you actually put work into it, it's really beneficial. Like, before franchising and everything started up for this split, we had a boot camp just to bring in challenger players that we thought might be good or could have a chance, and just gives them an opportunity to, like, show off in a LAN environment. And that way we could get to know them in person too. And we brought 4 out of 5 guys from that to actually put on the team. I think it's really paid off. Like, we didn't have a roster in Academy that anyone was really talking about either moving in. Like, everyone's just like, TSM, Cloud9, TL, those two are going to be the top teams, and then we just kind of silently snuck in and just beat up on a lot of teams. So I think it's really important to actually like build up the scene if you're talking about like what a person's like within the team and how that can help the team environment and just make everyone better. So when we do internal practice, it actually feels really good in comparison to how we ran it last split, because we've got guys that were all like picked together, picked for specific reasons, and all put together so that they would fit well. And I think it has a huge payoff as long as you're actually putting in work into both.
Yeah. Do you ever look at your academy team and say to yourself, you know, it's not Scara, it's not I'm a Cutie Pie, it's not that, like, if only we had the meme team, you know?
Team back. Yeah. I mean, we basically have it anyways. Kieran over there is probably the best freestyler in North America. He's actually insane.
Okay.
And they all just joke around all the time, so it's kind of almost like we have our own little stream team.
Okay. Very good. Now, one thing that is happening either next week or the week after, depending on how things go for you, is that you'll be moving away from best of one and into a multiple game scenario. How do you think Echo Fox is going to be able to deal with that? Because I've always felt like a team like TSM or Cloud9, who has a lot more experience in those longer sets, like they almost have like an inherent advantage coming into that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the experience advantage, and they're used to just how that whole process works out. Most of the teams that are coming in playoffs are already doing best of 5 practice anyways, just to get used to it. And throughout the split, I mean, you practice best of 3 blocks every day anyways. Yeah. I feel really prepared working with Thomas and the rest of our staff, preparing draft scenarios that we can work around, and I feel like we actually adapt pretty quickly in most scenarios. I think our only slip up this split has been on patch 8.4, where we just had a mess up on how to really figure out what was good. But I think we'll be fine for playoffs. We'll get used to that scenario really fast, and even if we don't, we'll be able to pick up on that and use the experience we got from this to learn for Worlds.
Do you think that in playoffs we're going to see everybody play very standard and safe, or do you think we'll see some wonky stuff pop out? People potentially saving it from this patch?
I know some people bring up wonky stuff. I know our team's definitely going to be one of them. Our Nocturne pick was kind of just a fun thing today. Yeah. I think we inted a little bit on that one, but I'm sure a lot of teams will start trying stuff like that because there's a few like creative picks on this patch that you can really pull off and make work.
Very good. Anything that you want to say to any of the Echo Fox fans out there?
Yeah, just thanks again to everyone. Thanks especially to like our team of 10 guys, Hooney, Dardock, Phoenix, especially Adrian, Altec. You guys are actually just insane to work with. The whole academy team, you guys are all great. I love working with you all, and the fans that have supported us through all of this, even our past just bad weeks. I really appreciate all the support. It helps us get through a lot.
Thank you so much, Inero, for the interview. Best of luck tomorrow and into playoffs. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. I know you hang out for the Ovly outro. I can't. She's busy. Here, Hey guys, anime is great. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, interviews of Insulting Travis. Follow Omni / and subscribe. Does that work? Does that make you happy?